These videos have been developed for instructional purposes. For this reason, the nursing students and nursing instructor review the steps of the skills at the bedside. In actual nursing practice, you and your instructor should decide if this approach is appropriate for you.
Hi, Melissa.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, for me? How thoughtful.
Hands off, it's for Anna.
Would you guys get into a fight?
No, it's her birthday.
What? Today?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how come nobody told me? What? Well, how about we go half?
No, we are not going half on this.
Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Look.
Looky.
Got you a present.
This is for me. Just me. You can open it later.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Morning,
Morning.
birthday girl.
Good morning.
We'll be sure to have a little party at the end of the day.
Oh, that's okay.
No, of course we will. But first, today we're going to concentrate on providing care for patients with tracheostomies. Anna has a patient today who has a tracheostomy, and the patient has agreed to have additional students observe while she provides care for him. Now, why is it important to provide site and tube care?
Well, site care reduces the risk of infection, and it also ensures that the crusted secretions don't block the tube and the patient's airway.
That's right. Nursing care for a tracheostomy includes regular dressing changes, regular changing of the ties that hold it in place, and site care. It also includes suctioning the tracheostomy and airway and keeping the inner cannula free from occlusion with secretions.
Now, do we use sterile technique?
When the patients are in the hospital, we do.
Correct. When you're suctioning a patient's airway through a tracheostomy, what do you need to keep in mind?
Is there danger in that procedure? Well, suctioning can cause hypoxia, right?
Right. Suctioning pulls oxygen from the airway along with the secretions. So how do we prevent hypoxia?
Well, the patient should be hyperoxygenated during, before, and after the procedure. And you should also limit the amount of time that the suction is applied.
That's right, Mark. And remember that suction should only be applied as the catheter is being withdrawn, never when it's introduced into the airway, okay?
Okay.
All right, Anna, why don't we move to your patient? Melissa, you can observe first, and Mark, why don't you go about your patient care, and we'll catch up with you in a little bit.
All right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So I'll get the equipment.
See you guys later.
Bye.
See ya.
Okay, Anna, tell us about your patient.
Well, my patient was admitted with pneumonia. He's had a tracheostomy for several years since his neck surgery. He's really weak now. He can't cough up his secretions in his lungs from the pneumonia. So he's been requiring suctioning to remove the secretions from his airway.
Okay, so let's check the order for the frequency and type of suctioning ordered, and we should also make sure to provide pain management if the patient needs it, okay?
Okay, so I'll get the equipment. Can't wait to see what this is. Hello, Mr. Swern. How are you doing? This is Melissa, a nursing student, and this is my instructor, Ms. Swinson. They're going to be observing me today. Is that okay? Okay. Sounds like you're having a little bit of trouble breathing, and that can be caused by secretions in your airway. So is it okay if we suction those out? Okay. Let me just check your ID, Ben. Okay. So I'm going to get you into position, okay? Raise your head up. Is it okay? All right. Okay, let me just get this pad across your chest here. Can you just hand me the suction catheter?
There you go.
And we'll make sure it's the right amount of pressure. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm just going to get my gear on now.
Melissa, what's next?
You put on your sterile gloves, set up the cup, and then using your non-dominant hand, pour the sterile saline solution into the container.
Right.
Okay, Mr. Swarn, I'm going to give you a few extra breaths now. All right, here we go.
Anna, you'll want to keep the resuscitation bag close by for later use, okay?
Okay.
All right, now remember your dominant hand will hold the suction catheter, and that hand must remain sterile during the procedure. Your non-dominant hand is considered clean rather than sterile.
Okay, so I pick up the suction catheter with my gloved, dominant, sterile hand, and I pick up the tubing with my non-dominant gloved hand. I connect the tubing to the suction catheter like so.
Okay. How do we moisten the catheter?
By dipping it into the sterile saline solution.
That's right. And you include the Y port to check for proper suction. The saline should move up the catheter and tubing into the collection canister on the suction unit, all right?
Okay, it's working. Now I remove the oxygen delivery system with my non-dominant unsterile hand.
Now, using your sterile hand, you'll insert the catheter quickly but gently, advancing the catheter about 4 to 5 inches until the patient coughs or until you meet resistance. Then you'll retract the catheter 1 centimeter and apply intermittent suction. Rotate the catheter gently while withdrawing it from the trachea.
How long should you suction?
You should limit suction time to a maximum of 10 seconds.
And now I hyperventilate the patient. And I'll use my unsterile hand for that.
Now you'll place the catheter tip into the sterile saline solution and apply suction to flush the catheter. And then you can repeat this procedure as needed to remove additional secretions according to the patient's tolerance.
Okay, and then I allow the patient to rest for at least a minute between suctioning again.
Exactly. And if necessary, replace the oxygen setup during the resting period. Ideally, the suction events should be limited to 3 per session if possible.
You did good, Mr. Swarn.
All right.
So can you just turn that off?
Sure.
And I'll disconnect the suction tubing from the catheter.
All right. Let's clean up and get out of our PPE.
Okay. Now I'll put the bed in a comfortable position for you.
Always remember to document what you did, your assessment, and Mr. Swarn's reaction.
Okay. So did you need anything? No? Okay. I'm going to put the call bell here just in case you do. Okay? You can give me a call. And I'll check on you a little later on. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Swarn. Hi, Mark.
Hey.
Do you have a minute to go with us and observe one of Anna's patients?
Yeah, sure. What will we be doing?
Well, there are a lot of secretions on the tracheostomy site dressing. The nursing care plan calls for site care once per shift, but he needs it now.
Okay.
All right, let's gather our supplies and go.
Let's do it.
Hi, Mr. Malone. How are you? This is Mark, a nursing student, and this is my instructor, Miss Swinson.
How are you?
It's okay if they observe? Okay, Mark was going to help me with cleaning your tracheostomy site. I'd like to do that now, if it's okay with you. All right. I was talking to your wife outside. She said that you're hoping to get back on the boat this summer. Good.
My father had a boat, a little one. He would take me and my sister out on it and try to teach us to water ski. I couldn't pull myself up, though. The life jacket would come up around our neck. It's strangling me.
Let me just check your ID then.
Okay, Mark, for Mr. Malone, why are we doing this procedure?
Well, Mr. Malone, it's important to clean the tracheostomy and the skin around it to help prevent any infection. And it will also help you to breathe more easily.
Okay, so get set up here. I'm going to pour a ½ inch of sterile normal saline into one basin. And the other basin, I'm going to pour a ½ inch of hydrogen peroxide.
Okay, and now you can put on your clean gloves.
Okay. And now I remove the dressing and discard it. Okay. With this. Okay, and then I assess the tracheostomy site.
All right. What is Anna looking for?
Any signs of inflammation or maceration or any infection.
Mm-hmm. And if the patient is sutured, you want to make sure the sutures are intact.
Right.
It looks good.
Then, stabilize the outer cannula and the base plate of the tracheostomy with one hand. Then you rotate the lock on the inner cannula in a counterclockwise motion with your other hand to release it from the outer cannula.
Okay.
Now continue to hold the faceplate and gently remove the inner cannula.
Now I take off my gloves. And put on the sterile gloves. Now let me just put this pad across your chest here. Okay. Okay, so now I pick up the inner cannula from the soaking peroxide, and I moisten the brush in the normal saline and insert it into the tube. Okay.
You're going to want to use a back and forth motion to loosen and remove any of the secretions that have accumulated in the inner cannula. And agitate the cannula in the saline to rinse off the peroxide.
Okay.
And what's next, Anna?
What is next?
You're going to remove the cannula from the solution. Tap it against the inner surface of the basin to shake off the moisture. There you go. Be sure to stabilize the outer cannula and the base plate of the tracheostomy with one hand. Then replace the inner cannula into the outer cannula and turn it clockwise so you can lock it into place. And make sure the inner cannula is secured.
Okay.
Then reattach the oxygen supply back to the tracheostomy.
You okay?
Okay.
Okay, now for cleaning around the tracheostomy site, I pour the saline into the remaining basin. And I start off with this cotton tip applicator. I moisten it in the normal saline, clean around the stoma, and then I repeat it underneath the faceplate.
Right. And remember that each applicator should be used only once, and you're going to work in a circular motion to clean from the stoma site outward.
Let me just take this off. Okay. Excuse me here. Okay. And now I pat dry gently with the gauze. And then I replace the tracheostomy dressing with this one and slide it underneath the faceplate.
Exactly. Now, Mark, if we didn't have a commercially prepared dressing, what would we do?
She would fold the gauze dressing to fit around the stoma.
Exactly. But remember not to cut the gauze to use around the tracheostomy because it can cause loose fibers.
Oh, yeah, and the loose fibers can get lodged into the stoma and could cause infection or irritation.
Exactly. They also could be inhaled into the trachea and cause respiratory distress.
Okay. So now I leave the soil tapes in place until I apply new ones. How long should this tape be?
Basically, it should be twice the circumference of the neck plus 4 inches.
Okay.
And of course, you see the ends are trimmed on the diagonal, which makes it easier to insert them into the openings of the faceplate.
Okay. All right. So now I insert this tape through the opening of the faceplate alongside the old tape. Okay, so I pull it all the way through until both ends are even.
Right. Next, you're going to slide both tapes under the patient's neck and insert one through the remaining opening on the other side of the faceplate.
Okay. Can you flex your neck? That's good. Okay.
Pull the tape snugly. And tie the ends using a double square knot. And the tape should be loose enough so that you can fit one finger between the neck and the ties.
Okay. Let me check.
That looks good.
It's okay?
Looks great. And then once the new ties are secured, you can carefully remove the old ones.
Okay. Okay, so now just snip those. And then I cut the old one. Okay, all set here.
All right, let's put his oxygen back on, Anna.
Okay. Are you feeling comfortable? All right, I'll be sure and document the procedure.
Okay, it looks like everything's under control. Thank you, Mr. Malone. Good job, Anna.
Thank you.
Mark, you can come.
Have a good day, sir.
I'm going to get you back into a comfortable position. Let the bed down and your head down. Is that okay? All right. Did you see this? A patient got me a birthday card.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That's nice.
That's nice. I love her.
Yeah.
She's funny.
Anna,
Yes.
close your eyes. Close your eyes. Okay, open.
Oh.
Ta-da!
Wow.
Happy birthday!
Thank you. Is this a surgical gown wrapped in surgical tape?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, open it.
All right.
Drrrr.
Wow. Soda.
Yeah. And?
And gummy worm.
You know, you always say you like gummy things, so?
Uh-huh. And the soda?
Well, you need something to wash it down with.
Okay. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
Okay, everyone. Why don't we take a little time to talk about what we just looked at today, and then we'll have a little more birthday time afterwards for Anna, okay?
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions?
I do.
Okay.
Today I cared for a patient with a non-disposable inner cannula, and I was wondering if he had a disposable inner cannula, how would I care for that?
Well, of course you know that having a disposable inner cannula eliminates cleaning the inner cannula and makes the procedure less time-consuming. Melissa, what would you do?
Well, first I'd open my supplies.
Being careful not to contaminate the cannula or the inside of the package.
Right. Open my supplies, put on the clean gloves, and remove the dressing. Then I'd grasp the inner cannula of the tracheostomy with my dominant hand while stabilizing the faceplate with my other hand.
You'd just press the tabs and release the lock.
Right. And I change to the sterile gloves. I insert the new inner cannula into the tracheostomy, pressing the tabs to allow the lock to grab the outer cannula.
Very good. Then you proceed with the rest of the tracheostomy care. Anyone else have any issues?
Ties are what confuse me a little bit when performing tracheostomy care.
How so?
Well, when I'm going to change the ties on the tracheostomy, what happens if I can't fit the new tie into the faceplate because the old tie is taking up too much room?
Well, first, if you're working alone, never remove the old ties before securing the tracheostomy with a new tie. Accidental extubation could occur because the tracheostomy could get expelled by the patient coughing or moving.
Okay, so is it okay for me to call for assistance?
Of course. If you're having trouble inserting the new tie, get assistance from another nurse. And the second nurse should hold the tube in place while you remove the old tie and attach the new one securely.
So what happens if the patient is using a trach collar?
Well, this kind of tracheostomy tie utilizes a soft strap with Velcro strips on the ends that are inserted into the openings on the faceplate. A second nurse is required to hold the tracheostomy in place while the soiled collar is removed and replaced with a clean one. All right, I think that's enough for today. So, it's time for...
Birthday
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Now we can, crack open the gummy worms.
Have a nice sugar fix here.